Welcome class 12. Today in this video we are going to recapitulate chapter 2 of history, kings, farmers and towns. This chapter deals with rise of early states and economies, and the time frame is given from 600 BCE to 600 CE. As we have read about Harappan civilization in chapter 1, where the time frame we discussed was from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. This was the time frame of mature Harappan culture, whereas from 1900 BCE to 1300 BCE we see the conversion of the civilization from urban to rural one, which ultimately declined. We also need to keep in mind that from 1500 BCE to 1000 BCE is the time frame in which Vedas were written, so this age is also known as Vedic age. From 1000 BCE to 600 BCE is considered to be later Vedic age. From 600 BCE onwards we see a major change in the political scenario of the subcontinent, where emergence of Janapadas, Mahajanapadas occurred, which led towards the establishment of kingdoms and empires later on. Prinsep and Piyadasi. James Prinsep, who was an officer in the Mint of East India Company, deciphered ancient scripts. Those two scripts were Brahmi and Kharoshthi, which were written on inscriptions and coins. Now, what are inscriptions? Inscriptions are writings engraved on hard surfaces such as stone, metal, or pottery. And study of inscriptions is known as epigraphy. In 1830, James Prinsep deciphered Brahmi and Kharoshthi, two scripts used in the earliest inscriptions and coins. He found that most of these mentioned a king referred to as Piyadasi, meaning pleasant to behold. There were a few inscriptions which also referred to the king as Asoka. Subsequently, scholars began to shift their focus to the context of political history of India, ranging from 6th century BCE onwards. The 6th century BCE is regarded as a major turning point in early Indian history because this era is associated with the rise of early states, cities, growing use of iron, development of coinage, and agricultural advancement. It also witnessed the growth of diverse systems of thought including Buddhism and Jainism. Early Buddhist and Jaina texts mention, amongst other things, 16 states known as Mahajanapadas. From where did this word Mahajanapada arise? Mahajanapada word comes from the word Janapada, which means the land where a Jana, a people, clan, or tribe, sets its foot or settles. It is a word used in both Prakrit and Sanskrit. There were 16 Mahajanapadas, and among those 16 Mahajanapadas, the most important ones were Vajji, Magadha, Koshala, Kuru, Panchala, Gandhara, and Avanti. While most Mahajanapadas were ruled by kings, some, known as Ganas or Sanghas, were oligarchies, where power was shared by a number of men, often collectively called rajas. Both Mahavira and Buddha belonged to such Ganas. In some instances, as in the case of Vajji Sangha, the rajas probably controlled resources such as land collectively. Here we have a map showing 16 Mahajanpadas. As we know that from a Buddhist scripture named as Anguttara Nikaya, we get the information regarding 16 great kingdoms or Mahajanapadas at the beginning of the 6th century BCE in India. In these Mahajanapadas, socio-economic development occurs due to the use of iron tools in agriculture and military, along with religious and political developments. It led to the rise of Mahajanapadas from small kingdoms or Janapadas. We need to keep in mind that there were mainly 22 Mahajanapadas, from which 16 Janapadas grew up to become Mahajanapadas. This period is also known as the era of second urbanization, first being the Harappan civilization. Now we will look towards 16 Mahajanapadas and their capital with their present day location. The first I am referring to is the Mahajanapada Ang, whose capital was Champa, and its present-day location is Munger and Bhagalpur that falls in Bihar. Second is Magadha, which is also considered to be the most powerful Mahajanapada among these 16 Mahajanapadas. Its capital was Rajagriha or Girivraja, which later was shifted to Patliputra in 4th century BCE. Its present-day location is Gaya and Patna. Third is Kashi. Kashi's capital was Varanasi. Why Varanasi? Because Varanasi is situated on the confluence of two rivers named as Varuna and Asi. That's why called as Varanasi. Then we see number 4 as Vatsa. Vatsa's capital was Kaushambi, which is presently located in Allahabad. Number 5 Koshala. Its capital in northern part was Shravasti, while for southern areas Kushavati served as its capital. Presently, both the locations are located in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Number 6 is Shurasena. Its capital was Mathura, which is located in western UP. Number 7 is Panchala, and its capital was Ahichatra, which we call in present day as Bareilly, and Kampilya, which is called as Farrukhabad in contemporary times. Both these locations are present in western UP. Number 8 is Kuru, and its capital was Indraprastha, and its present day location falls in Meerut and southeastern Haryana. Number 9 is Matsya, and its capital was Virat Nagar, and its location is Jaipur, Alwar, Bharatpur area in Rajasthan. Number 10 is Chedi. Its capital was Sotiwati, and it falls in the present day location in Bundelkhand region. Number 11 is Avanti. Its capital was Ujjaini in the northern part, and in the southern part Mahishmati served as its capital. Both of them are present in Madhya Pradesh. Number 12 Gandhara. Gandhara's capital was Takshila, which is presently located in Rawalpindi, Peshawar and Kashmir Valley. Number 13 is Cambodia. Its capital was Punj, which is presently situated in Rajouri and Hajra in Kashmir and northwest frontier province of Pakistan. Number 14 is Asmaka or Asika. Its capital was Potali or Podana, which was situated on banks of Godavari. Number 15 is Vajji, and its capital was Vaishali, and it is presently located in Bihar. Number 16 is Malla, and its capital was Kushinara and Pava, and both of them are located in Devariya, UP. So these were the 16 Mahajanapadas with their capitals. The map that has been shown in this video has been taken from the NCERT book of class 12. The map is given in chapter 2. Now we will look into the characteristics of Mahajanapadas. The main characteristics, the main features of Mahajanapadas are mentioned over here. Every single Mahajanapada had a capital city which was generally fortified. Fortified because to provide security. Each of the Mahajanapada had armies and bureaucracies, and in order to maintain armies and pay bureaucracies, they needed money. So, for money, they were depending on two different sources. The first one was the tax collection, and the second and the legitimate one was the raids on neighboring states. Raids on neighboring states and gaining wealth from raids was considered to be a legitimate method. We also see that rulers collected taxes and tribute from artisans, traders, and cultivators. The information that we have discussed over here is coming from the source Dharma Sutras. Now, what were Dharma Sutras? Dharma Sutras were the Sanskrit texts which were written by Brahmanas from the 6th century BCE onwards. These laid down norms for rulers as well as for other social categories, who were ideally expected to be Kshatriyas. And in Dharma Sutras only, the rulers were advised to collect taxes and tributes from cultivators, traders, and artisans. But did they procure resources from pastoralists and forest people? We don't know about that. There were agricultural advancements too, which included sapling transplantation method. Now, what is sapling transplantation method? In this method, we see that first a seed is sown at a particular place, and when that seed turns into a sapling, then that is taken from the soil and planted somewhere else. So here we see the transplantation is happening. That's why it is known as the sapling transplantation method. It was one such method which was used to increase the production in cultivation. Agricultural advancements also included various methods of irrigation. And those various methods, remember we have read in Harappan civilization too, various methods of irrigation. In the same way, here also various methods of irrigation was used, like wells and canals. Then we also see the use of plough. Cultivators used to plough their fields, but mostly the ploughing was done in the region which was plain like the Indo-Gangetic Plain, which was very fertile in nature as well, but it was a plain area, and irrigation facilities were very good as the area was irrigated by many rivers, while the regions which were arid or semi-arid, in that regions plough cultivation was not done. Even in the hilly terrains, plough cultivation was not done. In those areas, hoe cultivation was practiced. Now we will read about Magadha, the most powerful Mahajanapada. Why Magadha was considered to be the most powerful Mahajanapada? The reasons are given below. First is productive agriculture. If you remember, the location where the most of the Mahajanapadas are situated falls in the area of Indo-Gangetic Plain. The area is full of alluvial soil and easily irrigated. That's why the production in agriculture was very good in Magadha. That means agriculture flourished and the productivity was very high. The second reason mentioned is the abundance of iron mines. If you remember earlier, the Magadha region included whole Bihar. Jharkhand was also a part of it. Okay, so presence of iron mines. These iron mines served in order to make various tools and weapons. An army can only be powerful if the army is completely equipped with weaponry, right? And for maintaining proper weaponry, iron was required. So abundance of iron served as one of the major reasons because of which Magadha grew to become powerful. Third is availability of elephants in forest region. In the forest region of Magadha, elephants were available, and those elephants were trained and later used in military. There were soldiers on foot, there were soldiers on horses which were termed as cavalry, and there were soldiers which were also on elephants. Next is communication through riverine routes of Ganga and tributaries. River Ganga provided a easy route of communication. Why? Because Ganga and its tributary rivers were used to communicate from one location to another, and also the goods were taken easily from one place to another through these riverine routes. Next is powerful kings such as Bimbisara, Ajatasattu and Mahapadmananda. So Magadha was ruled by various kings, and from those various kings, few of them emerged to be very powerful and ambitious and ruthless too. These highly ambitious kings ultimately gave Magadha a chance to become the most powerful Mahajanapada. Why? Because Bimbisara and Ajatasattu and Mahapadmananda, they were actually helped by their ministers, and their policies were implemented properly. We also see that Bimbisara and Ajatasattu both of them belong to Haryak dynasty, and Bimbisara ruled from 544 BCE to 492 BCE, and Ajatasattu ruled from 492 BCE till 460 BCE. Okay. Later on, we also see that Mahapadmananda established Nanda dynasty. If you remember, we read about Nanda dynasty. The last ruler was Dhananand and the first one was Mahapadmananda. The capital city of Rajgriha. The capital city of Rajgriha or Rajgaha as we use in Prakrit. Rajgriha is a Prakrit term which means a house of the king. Rajgriha was its capital city which was located in between hills and it was a city which had fortification all around. Later on we see that in 4th century BCE capital was shifted to Patliputra which is the present day Patna